First, I'd like to bring our first presenter to the stage, Ed Engler, who will co-introduce tonight's first award winner with the 2019 Impact Award to Ilana Diamond, who's the Managing Director of Hardware at AlphaLab Gear, Innovation Works Accelerator for physical product companies. So, Ed?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mike. And thank you all for being here tonight. My name's Ed Engler, Managing Partner of Pittsburgh Equity Partners. And today it's my great pleasure to award the Pittsburgh Venture Capital Association's Impact Award to Ilana Diamond. So Ilana's impact has been felt here for many decades. As a leader, Ilana has shown incredible depth of energy to help others, not only for the passionate makers and entrepreneurs who she serves every day, but for many others. She served her industry association on the board of the Consumer Electronics Association. She serves women through her work at PowerLink and Prototype. She serves youth and educators at the Carnegie Library and Winchester Thurston School. She serves the region with her work at the URA, and she serves her faith through the work at the JCC and the Jewish Healthcare Foundation. It seems that she leaves nobody out of the list of the people that she helps. So with a schedule like this, it's no surprise that normally when we see her, it's running out, gathering her things, most likely to go help and inspire someone else. Her enthusiasm is boundless and contagious, and her ability to connect ideas and people across the arc of industries and organizations makes her a real linchpin of our community. Her impact is not the kind that leaves craters and clouds of dust, though. It's the kind that creates sustainable structural enhancements to enrich, strengthen, and extend the communities that she has chosen to join. You know, when she moved here from Chicago many years ago, people really wondered why she made the move. She was a senior strategy consultant for Price Waterhouse in one of their biggest markets. Rumor was it was for the weather. I don't know. I think she came here for a job at SEMA to show all those consulting customers who never listened to her how to really do it right. She joined SEMA to drive growth through her myriad skills and methods and found herself planted in Pittsburgh. She soon found what many of us who've come to Pittsburgh have found, a welcoming and collaborative community of people who are eager to make a difference with their creativity. During her years leading SEMA, she was an early adopter of agile methods that helped her launch over 100 new products in photography, digital accessories, and videography. In 2004, she engineered a spin-out of Metasecure and an exit for SEMA. This really piqued her interest in entrepreneurship. It really started to grow from there when she joined me and my partner Steve at Pittsburgh Equity Partners in 2011 as our entrepreneur in residence. Could not have been more pleased with the results. I guess she had fun too, because 2 years later, she joined Innovation Works full-time to help these early stage companies that have really stoked her passion. She launched AlphaLab Gear to focus on helping hardware companies based on the promise of companies like Soul Power and Digital Dream Labs and the history of innovative manufacturing and creativity that we have in this region. Gear brought us new international spotlight to Pittsburgh in the best possible way with the Dynamic Hardware Cup. And to tell you a little bit more about that, I'd like to introduce Hannah Alexander, CEO of Soul Power.
I'm having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva.
Thank you, Ed. Hi, everyone. It's an honor to make just a few remarks to you tonight. Ilana is truly a champion for hardware companies and entrepreneurs, a role model for future business leaders, and an inspiration to so many women working in male-dominated fields. I first met Ilana through AlphaLab in 2012, way before there were as many hardware resources in Pittsburgh as there are now. and IW was still trying to figure out how these companies could fit into the lean startup and accelerator models. Did hardware startups need a larger budget and more time? Could we have access to the same capital? How do we scale? Well, it turned out what we needed, what Pittsburgh hardware startups really needed, wasn't Ilana. Who knew the answers to these questions, or who was going to do something very interesting to test it out. So it was no surprise when IW announced Ilana would be pioneering the AlphaLab Gear hardware program as its managing director. Now, nearly 6 years later, InnovationWorks has invested $4.5 million in AlphaLab Gear companies, and 43 companies completed the 5-month hardware program in Pittsburgh. Over these years, Ilana has been a trusted source of advice for me personally, especially through the toughest scenarios and hardest times our company has faced. She actually makes seemingly insurmountable problems really fun to solve. Often when my company and so many others were faced with a challenging decision, the go-to response is, well, what does Ilana think? Then we make a few minutes in our day to get to Gear, where Ilana is nearly always available, despite being incredibly busy, to give a quick word of advice or a creative way to test a solution. And that solution is usually right. The difference between success or failure for many entrepreneurs is having someone knowledgeable to give smart and honest feedback, and who has both your professional and personal well-being in mind. For many startups in Pittsburgh, Ilana is that person. She's accessible, super smart, and looks at problems differently, bringing excitement and enthusiasm to everything. And it's truly extraordinary to watch Ilana work. She listens to the problems, asks the right questions, gets an idea, and starts suggesting unique, practical solutions immediately. And then she's willing to put in the work to follow through and inspire her team or another founder to see good ideas executed flawlessly. There's so few people like that. Perhaps one of the best examples of this is the Hardware Cup. What started as a small idea to highlight and support hardware companies has expanded to 12 US cities and 8 countries, with over 1,000 global founders and over 200 completed applications in 5 years. I admire her character, work ethic, and brilliance so much, and really think it's a privilege to have Ilana in this community. I know her colleagues at IW and many founders feel the same. But most importantly, Ilana cares how the decisions we make and the technology startups build not only affects our bottom line, but how it affects people in the world and our community around us. So it was also no surprise to hear that another of Ilana's great ideas is being piloted. AlphaLab Gear is partnering with CMU's Create Lab to support entrepreneurs in building values and ethical business practices into their startups. They'll be tackling some of the most difficult ethics issues related to data, hiring practices, and security. It's clear that Ilana aims not just to help grow incredible businesses, build innovative solutions, and support technical achievements, but also to create ethical and creative business leaders that will impact their own fields positively in the future. Ilana, you once told me to stop worrying about perfection, that you can't be the best CEO, friend, family member, or leader all at the same time. So to let people forgive you and do the best that you can do with the time and resources that you have. Well, that's great advice, but I also want you to know that you set a pretty darn high bar. I can think of no one more deserving to receive this recognition, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you continue to impact the future. So Ilana, if you could please come to the stage, I'll pass it to Mike to present you with this year's Impact Award.
Friends are happy for me, or they're honeysuckle phonies. When they celebrate my medals, or they wanna take my trophies.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here with so many colleagues and friends tonight. And thank you to Hannah and Ed for your kind words. You were really my introduction to working as an investor and as a mentor. Ed and Steve gave me my first shot at learning about angel investing, and Hannah's company, Soul Power, was actually the first company that I mentored at AlphaLab. Thank you so much to Rich Lunak and all my colleagues at InnovationWorks for giving me the chance to help build the entrepreneurial community in Pittsburgh. I love working with startups and entrepreneurs, And because of all of you, I've had the chance to do it. And then a special thank you to Jim and Roni, my work husband and my home husband. I can't imagine having had better partners through the ups and downs of building a family of awesome startups and awesome kids. There's nothing more wonderful than watching the people and companies you care about grow and succeed. And finally, a big thank you to everybody who's here, the Pittsburgh entrepreneurship community, for giving me a chance to do what I love every day. Thank you.